the most dangerous thing Mark Watney ever did was not surviving Mars? What if the real danger started after he came home? Everyone remembers The Martian as the movie where one man got stranded on Mars, grew potatoes in space, joked through disaster, and made the entire world fight to bring him home. But if The Martian 2 ever happens, it cannot just be Mark Watney getting stuck again. That would be too easy, too repetitive, too boring. A real sequel would have to ask a bigger question. What happens when the man who survived Mars becomes the reason humanity goes back? Before we go deeper, let's be clear. Right now, The Martian 2 has not been officially announced. There is no confirmed release date, no confirmed cast, and no confirmed production. So any talk about Matt Damon returning, the old crew coming back, or the story continuing is speculation, rumor, and fan theory, not confirmed fact. But that is exactly why this is so interesting. Because fans still keep asking one question: why has Hollywood never gone back to Mark Watney? The first movie was not just a sci-fi survival story. It was smart, emotional, funny, and strangely inspiring. It made Mars feel beautiful, but also like a planet that would kill you without even noticing. If The Martian 2 ever happens, the best story should not start with another accident. It should start on Earth. Mark Watney is alive. He is famous. He is respected. He is a symbol, the survivor, the legend, the man who beat Mars. But privately, maybe he never fully came back. Maybe he still wakes up hearing alarms. Maybe he still checks oxygen levels in every sealed room. Maybe the world turned his trauma into a heroic poster, while he quietly lives with the cost. That would make the sequel feel human, because the first movie was about getting Mark off Mars. The second movie could be about realizing Mars never really left him. Now imagine this. Years later, NASA prepares a new Mars mission. Not just another visit, but the first serious attempt to build a long-term human base, a real foothold on Mars. And who do they need? Mark Watney. Not as the stranded astronaut this time, but as the man who knows exactly how Mars tries to kill you. He knows what dust can do. He knows how isolation breaks the mind. He knows how fast one small mistake becomes a death sentence. The world sees Mars as the future. Watney sees it as a warning. That is the sequel. Not Mark gets trapped again, but Mark tries to stop humanity from underestimating the planet that almost buried him. Now let's talk about who fans would want to see return. Again, none of this is confirmed, but obviously Matt Damon would be the heart of it as Mark Watney. Without him, it would be hard to call it a true Martian sequel. Jessica Chastain returning as Commander Lewis would be powerful too, because she carries one of the biggest emotional scars from the first movie. She made the call to leave Mars. It was the right call, but emotionally, that kind of choice never disappears. Imagine Lewis and Watney meeting again years later. No huge speech, no dramatic yelling, just silence. Then she says, "I left you there." And Watney replies, "You brought everyone else home." That scene alone would hit hard. Kristen Wiig's Annie Montrose could return because any Mars crisis would instantly become a global media storm. And the old Ares crew could appear as people who survived the same miracle, but from different sides of the nightmare. And here is the theory that could blow fans' minds. What if The Martian 2 is not about saving Mark Watney? What if it is about Mark Watney saving Mars from humanity? In the first movie, Mark survived by doing impossible things. He used human waste as fertilizer. He created water. He modified equipment. He turned a dead alien world into a temporary human farm. It was genius. It was inspiring. But a sequel could ask a darker question. Did he leave something behind? Not aliens, not monsters, not cheap sci-fi nonsense. Something more believable. Microbes, contamination, biological traces from Earth. A new mission returns near the old Ares 3 site and finds strange biological evidence. At first, everyone thinks it could be proof of life on Mars. The world goes insane. News channels explode. Scientists argue. Politicians want control. Private space companies want access. And Mark Watney is dragged back into history. Because the terrifying question becomes, is this Martian life? Or is it us? Then the mission goes wrong. A storm hits the new Mars base. Communication drops. Power fails. A habitat begins leaking. A rover team is trapped outside, and the young astronaut who idolized Watney is now living the same nightmare he once survived. But this time, Mark is not on Mars. He is in mission control, watching someone else face his worst memory. And that is brutal, because the man who survived by being alone now has to save someone while being completely helpless. That is how you make The Martian too different. Mark Watney does not repeat the first movie. He becomes the voice in someone else's helmet, and then comes the emotional punch. The only way to save the new crew is to return to the abandoned Ares 3 site, the old hab, the old rover path, the place where Mark nearly died, the place the world remembers as a miracle, but Mars remembers as dust. Imagine the visuals. A new astronaut walking through the ruins of Watney's survival, old equipment half buried, a cracked panel, frozen tracks in red soil, a place that feels less like a science station and more like a ghost story. Then they find something Mark left behind. Not a secret weapon, not a magical fix. A message. If you're reading this, it means someone came back. That one line would destroy fans. Because suddenly, the sequel is not just about Mars, it is about legacy. If The Martian 2 ever happens, it has to connect directly to the first movie. Mark Watney is the emotional engine. The Ares 3 rescue is the mythology. The old crew is the guilt. Mars is the unfinished wound. And in the final scene, the camera returns to Mars. Quiet, empty, red dust moving over the old Ares site. Then we hear Mark's old voice log. At some point, everything is going to go south on you. And you're going to say, "This is it. This is how I end." But then a new voice answers from the future. Not today. That is the sequel fans would remember. Not The Martian repeated, The Martian transformed. A story about survival becoming legacy. A story about science becoming responsibility. A story about a man who escaped Mars, only to realize Mars never really left him. But for now, remember, The Martian 2 is not officially confirmed. No real release date has been announced, and any cast return talk is still speculation. But if Hollywood ever does go back, it better not just ask whether Mark Watney can survive Mars again. It should ask something far more powerful. Did humanity survive Mars? Or did Mars change humanity forever?